a gift, or a chain. I love her. I love her the way a man who once had nothing loves the most beautiful thing life has ever given him. But I don't want to get married with her parents' money. It sounds arrogant, reckless, maybe even foolish. I was born in a countryside where poverty wasn't shameful, it was normal. I grew up watching my mother count every coin before going to the market, studying under an oil lamp during power cuts, hearing the same sentence over and over. Study hard. Only education can change your life. The day I carried my suitcase to the city, I brought exactly two things: a little cash my mother pressed into my hand, and the self-respect of a young man who refused to bow his head. 4 years of university. I lived like a machine. Study, work part-time, chase scholarships. No dating, no parties, no daydreaming. People said I was cold. In truth, I just didn't allow myself to be weak. I got used to handling everything alone. Rent, food, tuition. Every dollar I spent carried my sweat. And then, I met her, the landlord's daughter. She grew up in a house I always entered with gratitude. Warm meals, lights always on, a refrigerator always full. I thought I was just an outsider. I never imagined that one day I would become the chosen one. Her family cared about me, trusted me, treated me like their own son. And when love began, everything felt perfect. Until they brought up marriage. Not just marriage. The house was already prepared, waiting to be transferred to our names. A job her father could arrange immediately. Capital to open my own office. All I had to do was say yes. I just needed to get married. Just get married. Every offer sounded like a reward for all the years I had struggled. So why did I feel suffocated? I remember that moment clearly. Her mother said gently, "You don't have to struggle anymore. Once your family, we lift each other up." It sounded warm. But inside my head, another voice echoed, "If I accept, will anything I build afterward truly be mine? If I succeed, people will say, because of his wife's family. If I fail, they will say, they gave him everything, and he still couldn't make it." I began imagining a future where every decision I made stood under someone else's gaze. Every step shadowed. The shadow of gratitude, the shadow of debt, the shadow of dependence. I don't despise money. I don't reject help. I don't disrespect their love. But I fear the feeling of holding out my hand. I fear one day I might get used to being taken care of. I fear one day my hunger to build something on my own will be replaced by, "It's already provided. Why try so hard?" I've known hunger. I've known lack. I've longed for someone to back me up. Yet when that opportunity finally appears, I step back. Because I understand something. The thing that gives me confidence isn't money. It's knowing I can survive without someone else's support. I don't want to enter marriage as someone being given a life. I want to stand as an equal. I want that when someone asks her, "What does your husband do?" she answers with pride, not with a list of what her parents provided. But am I being extreme? Is my self-respect just a disguise for fear of judgment? Or am I protecting the last piece of manhood left inside me? I'm starting to see the terrifying truth. If I agree to marry the way they want, I might gain everything quickly, but I might lose the most important thing, myself. And the tragedy isn't whether I marry or not. The tragedy is this: I'm standing between two roads. One is love with security. The other is self-respect with loneliness. And I don't know which price will cost me more, love or pressure. I said I wanted to wait just a few years. A few years to stand firmly on my own. A few years so that when we marry, I won't walk into her family's house as someone who was prepared in advance. I thought that was normal. I thought that was responsibility. I thought she would understand. But she didn't. She looked at me for a long time that day. Her eyes were no longer soft, no longer gentle like the girl who used to quietly bring food down to my rented room. She asked, "My dad will take care of everything. My mom will give us a house. What more do you want?" My heart skipped a beat. Not because the question was difficult, but because I realized we were standing into different worlds. To her, it was love. To me, it was obligation. To her, it was an opportunity. To me, it was a price. I tried to explain. I said I didn't want to be known as someone living off her family. I said I wanted to build something on my own first. I said I needed time. She sighed. "You're always talking about self-respect. But can self-respect feed a family?" I stayed silent. She continued, her voice rising. "You're making everything complicated. My family isn't asking you to repay anything." I looked at her, not asking out loud, doesn't mean there are no expectations. That was the day love began to change color. Conversations grew tense. Messages were no longer sweet. Phone calls ended in heavy silence. She started talking more about time. I'm not getting any younger. A woman has her timing. I can't wait 5 or 7 years. I understood. I truly did. But every time she said that, I felt like I was being forced to race against a clock I never set. I'm not afraid of hardship. I'm afraid of being forced to choose before I'm ready. Then her mother stepped in. Her eyes were no longer warm. She spoke with the tone of someone who had calculated every possible outcome. You're young, so you think idealistically. Life doesn't run on self-respect. In 10 years, you may not reach what our family can give you right now. 10 years. I know I might not succeed quickly. I know I might fail. But I never thought I was so inadequate that I needed to be rescued. The most frightening thing wasn't her words. It was the feeling that I was beginning to doubt myself. Was I being too proud? Was I throwing away an opportunity others could only dream of? Every time I walked into her house, I no longer felt comfortable. I started noticing the looks, the casual comments. He's talented, just lacking conditions. Good thing he met our family. He's lucky. I smiled, but inside, I could hear my self-respect cracking. She changed her way of applying pressure. No more arguments. No more raised voices. Just silence. A silence so long it became suffocating. Replies grew slower. Calls became fewer. Meetings turned awkward. That silence was more frightening than any reproach. It made me feel like I was the one at fault. The difficult one. The selfish one. The man who put his ego above love. I began to ask myself, if I truly love her, why can't I compromise? Why can't I see this help as a stepping stone? But every time I imagine myself saying yes, I see another future. One day, when I want to make a decision about my career, will I truly have the right? When conflict arises in marriage, will someone remind me of what was given? If I fail, will someone say, after everything we gave you, and you still achieved nothing? I'm not afraid of starting from zero. I'm afraid of living in a house I didn't build. I'm afraid every meal will carry the taste of indebtedness. Our love is no longer just between two people. It is two families, two value systems, two definitions of success. She believes in support. I believe in self-reliance. She believes in timing. I believe in process. She fears losing me because of waiting. I fear losing myself because of compromise. The conflict is no longer about marrying sooner or later. It's about how we see the world. And the most painful part is we both believe we're right. I no longer sleep well. I feel pressure every time my phone vibrates. I feel exhausted, repeating the same explanations over and over. I can feel our love being stretched like a rope. And I know a rope cannot stay tight forever. But right now, no one is letting go. No one is yielding. We are only pulling tighter. And I'm beginning to fear not losing her. But that one day, whether we marry or not, I won't recognize myself anymore. Keep yourself or keep her. After all the arguments, I realized something. What scares me is no longer money, not the house, not the job, not the comparisons or calculations, but a cold truth. We are different at the root. She was born into abundance. Everything came at the right time, the right way, according to plan. Her life feels like a road already paved, smooth. As for me, I grew up with lack. I'm used to climbing uphill with bare hands, used to hitting walls and figuring out how to stand back up on my own. She believes in structure. I believe in freedom. She believes family is a foundation. I believe a man must stand on his own defeat. And now, those two beliefs are crashing into each other like opposing waves. I used to think if love was big enough, our differences would naturally blend. I was wrong. Love does not erase differences in how you see life. Every time I say, I need time, she hears, I don't love you enough. Every time she says, I just want stability, I hear, you're not good enough to wait for. We speak the same language, but we understand it in two completely different ways. And that realization is killing me slowly. I owe her family, not money, but gratitude. The times they helped me, the warm dinners, the way they treated me like their own son. I haven't forgotten. I'm not ungrateful. But does gratitude mean he must marry? If I walk into marriage because I feel indebted, Is that still love? Or is it repayment legalized by a marriage certificate? I've asked myself this hundreds of times. If I marry now, I'll have a house, a foundation, security. But will I still be me? Will I still be the man who swore to build everything with his own hands? Or will I slowly grow used to being provided for, used to having a shadow behind every step I take? And one day, when conflict happens, will someone say, if it weren't for this house back then? I'm not afraid of being poor. I'm afraid of losing the right to decide my own life. But if I walk away, what will I become? An ungrateful man? A traitor? The guy who abandoned the woman who loved him for 4 or 5 years? How will I look into her eyes when I say goodbye? How will I face the disappointment in her parents' eyes? I used to be the young man they were proud of. Now I might become the one who lets them down. I'm trapped between the choices that both hurt. Marry and possibly lose myself. Don't marry and possibly lose her. And I've realized something even scarier. No matter what I choose, I might still lose. Lose my peace, lose my faith, lose a part of who I am. I'm standing at a crossroads where every road has a price. On one side, opportunity handed to me. On the other, a rough path that truly belongs to me. On one side, safety. On the other, self-respect. On one side, keep her. On the other, keep myself. And I don't know. What should a man choose? Practicality or principle? A secured future or a dream built by his own hands? I'm standing at the edge of a decision that could change my entire life. If you were me, what would you do? Would you marry to seize the opportunity even knowing you might sacrifice part of your identity? Or would you walk away accept being called ungrateful, selfish, even cruel, just to keep yourself? I don't need comfort. I need an honest answer. Marry or leave. Don't avoid it. Choose for me. Because if I take one wrong step, I may have to live with it for the rest of my life. If you marry because of pressure, every future conflict may drag out the debt of gratitude, and you will no longer stand as an equal in your own family. Don't confuse self-respect with pride. If you refuse only because you fear people saying you're relying on her family, then you're living for society's gaze, not your true values. Her family's support is precious, but marriage cannot begin with a sense of indebtedness. Long-term gratitude can turn into a burden. She's not wrong for wanting stability early, but if that stability suffocates you, you're not moving at the same rhythm. There's nothing wrong with succeeding with support, but if you constantly feel in debt, you'll never feel truly free. You say you need time. What's your concrete plan? Trust me, alone gives her nothing solid to wait for. Don't marry to prove you're not ungrateful. Marriage is lifelong, not a repayment strategy. If you're strong enough, you can accept support and still keep your identity. The question is, do you believe you can? She pressures you because she's afraid of losing you. You hesitate because you're afraid of losing yourself. These two fears are pushing you apart. If you marry in hesitation, you'll always wonder what if. If you walk away in clarity, at least you're honest with yourself. You're not wrong for wanting independence, but don't turn suffering into proof that you deserve success. Her family's help doesn't equal control unless you constantly see it through suspicion. If you already sense a difference in core values, face it directly instead of hoping love will fix it. Don't let a poverty complex decide your future. You may be reacting to old wounds, not present reality. Marrying before you're ready is risky, but making her wait indefinitely without commitment is unfair. Ask yourself, if there were no house, no support, would you still marry her immediately? Self-respect is good, but if it costs you the person you love, you must accept that price. Marriage requires mutual agreement, not a winner and a loser in an argument. If she can't understand your ambition now, this conflict will repeat in every major decision. Don't marry just because it's a good opportunity. Don't break up just to protect the image of being self-made. You say you want her to be proud of you. Maybe she already is, you just don't believe it. If you believe nothing is free, perhaps you're too defensive toward love. Her parents want to protect their daughter, that's instinct. You want to protect your self-respect, that's instinct too. No one is entirely wrong, but different value systems must be taken seriously. Imagine 10 years from now which regret would hurt more, marrying too soon or losing her. Don't rush because of her silence. Silence isn't always an argument. If you feel like you're losing yourself by marrying, that signal cannot be ignored. Sustainable love shouldn't rely on one-sided sacrifice. You need the courage to state boundaries clearly instead of avoiding them. If you don't feel equal when accepting support, The issue lies within you. Don't turn marriage into a test of manhood. If she can't wait, that's not her fault. If you're not ready, that's not your fault either. A career can be rebuilt. A wrong marriage decision leaves long-lasting scars. Don't marry out of fear of being called ungrateful. No one else lives your life. Don't walk away just to preserve a strong image. You need deeper dialogue, not louder arguments. If you grow at different speeds, marriage will be exhausting. Love doesn't erase differences, it only helps you tolerate them better. Ask yourself, are you protecting your values or your ego? If she truly loves you, she will respect your timeline. If you truly love her, you will give her a clear plan. Marriage is partnership, not a rescue project. Don't choose a path you'll have to justify for the rest of your life. Don't choose a path that will haunt you every night. Maybe you fear failure more than dependence. Maybe she fears losing you more than controlling you. Don't let fear drive your future. Be honest with yourself before being honest with her. Every decision involves loss. Choose the loss you can live with. If you marry just to keep the relationship, that love will feel heavy. If you leave just to protect yourself, accept the loneliness. Don't confuse opportunity with destiny. You have the right to move slowly but not to be vague. She has the right to worry about her youth. You have the right to build your dream your way. Both rights deserve equal respect. Put yourself in her parents' position. Put yourself in her position 5 years from now. Put yourself in your own position 10 years from now. Don't decide when emotionally triggered. Don't promise what you're unsure you can deliver. Don't stay silent when honesty is needed. If you're unclear, she'll increase pressure. If she doesn't listen, you'll withdraw further. The gap will widen if neither yields. Marriage shouldn't begin with reluctance, nor end because of pride. Independence is admirable. Isolation is not the goal. Stability is necessary. Control is not love. You need to speak your fears openly. She needs to voice her worries honestly. Only through understanding can you decide wisely. Don't let families become battle lines. Keep the conversation between two mature adults. If you still can't find common ground, that is your answer. Don't prolong it just because you've invested years. Time spent together isn't a reason to marry. Love isn't enough without shared values. Deeply different values will erode love. You need courage to choose, and greater courage to take responsibility. No one lives your life for you. Others see the result. You live with the consequences. Don't look for the perfect option, look for the suitable one. Don't choose what's easiest, choose what's truest to you. If you marry, marry with confidence. If you part ways, part with respect. Don't let this story turn you bitter. Let it make you more mature. You don't owe anyone your entire life, but you owe yourself honesty. Listen to your intuition. When the noise fades, don't rush because you fear being left behind. Don't hesitate because you fear change. A right decision brings peace. A wrong decision brings lessons. Sometimes losing someone protects your future. Sometimes keeping someone requires changing yourself. Whatever you choose, choose with clarity and full responsibility.